Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is that dividing negative fractions. Now, last year, one of your learning targets was probably dividing fractions. This year, it's dividing negative fractions, which doesn't change a whole lot. Okay? So, the rules with negatives and division are the same that it was with products, right? Remember when we did multiplying, I said your goal is to always get 4 numbers in all of those places, right? I don't want a whole number. I didn't want a mixed number. I wanted them to be these fractions. They could be proper or improper, right? So one of them could have been 11/7, and the other one could have been 2/3. It doesn't matter if they're proper or improper. I just need them in that spot, right? Okay? So the same rule is going to apply for division also. So that's a little tricky, though, because when we start getting into some whole numbers and mixed numbers, kind of confusing. So let's just do this by level. Let's say a level 1 is where it's really kind of pretty easy. Like, it's already set up for you. I'm asking you to find the quotient of 2/3 times 6/10. Okay? Or divided by. Sorry, I said division, or wrote division. Okay. So the first thing we need to talk about right here, and I did this on purpose, is, boy, you are really looking at that thinking, what has Mrs. E been pounding into my head for the last week with multiplication? That you can cross-cancel, right? Stop right there. You can only cross-cancel when it is a multiplication problem. That looks awfully tempting, doesn't it? And so does that. I did it on purpose. Okay? So, if you have another color pencil, or even just write it in caps or highlight it right now, you can only cross-cancel when it's multiplication. Okay? You can only cross-cancel when it's multiplication. And it's not right now. I'm going to make it multiplication, but watch what happens after I make it multiplication. The other thing I need you to know is that I don't want to hear you say keep, change, flip. So I want you to write this, and then I want you to put a big old circle with a line through it. I know that you know that. Keep, change, flip is not a mathematical phrase. It doesn't really teach you anything. You're not using the correct terms. So what can we change keep, change, flip to? Don't. Yes, Brian? KCF? No, that's I see you just kind of abbreviated it. Multiply by the reciprocal. So the flip is not a fancy term. Reciprocal is fancy. So multiply by the reciprocal. I spelled that wrong. Trying to write and spell at the same time. So, let's do that. Just like I said, don't subtract a positive 3, add a negative 3. We're doing the same thing, right? So let's take this and let's not divide 2/3 by 6/10. Let's multiply 2/3 by 10/6. Okay? Did you see what I just did? You used to call that keep, change, flip. And if you want to kind of think about that in your head that way, but if I ever ask you, what you're doing is multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, now can I cross cancel? Yes. Only because it's multiplication right now. So 3 and 10 have a GCF of 1, leave it. 2 and 6 have a GCF bigger than 1, 2. I'm still seeing people confused on how to do this. You find the GCF, how many times does that GCF go into here? And how many times does that GCF go into here? 3. Very good. Okay? So then go ahead and finish that out. Find that product. Roger. I do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. You have this kid?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. You can just give them all to me. I can just take them and give them.
No, I just want to make sure. Oh, this kid, because I don't know if anybody's a sixth grader.
Yep.
That was the problem.
And yes, sweet.
And
yep.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
I know that's not how you spell his name.
Yes. Okay.
But he only got a team picture.
Okay. Perfect.
I love you. Thank you.
Yes. No problem. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. So yes, Roger. Did you have a question or do you have the answer?
When it's division, can you reduce the fraction?
Yes, that's a great question. When it's division, can you reduce the fraction? Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so let's do that. So then let's do this. Let's finish this problem. 10 ninths, which is equal to 1 and 1/9. So let's take that problem and let's take 2/3 and divide it by, what do you want to make that, Roger? 3/5. Okay, ooh, so tempting. Can't do it. So we're going to 2/3 times 5/3, and what do you get? 10/9. Okay, so if you wanted to reduce before, yes, you can reduce before, or technically even after, as long as it's reduced. Okay, so very good question. All right, my question to you is, if I made both of these negative, would it change my answer? Would it? What's a negative times a negative? Positive. If they were both negative, it wouldn't change my answer. If only one was negative, would it? Yes. Okay. So, are we okay on here? So, level 1, remember, I do this all the time. It's a video game level that everybody can beat. You just got to watch your cross-canceling, right? Okay. So, now let's do level 2, a little different category here. And we're going to call it level 2 because they're not already going to both be set up like that. We're going to do this a proper or just a regular fraction divided by a whole number. Okay? And it's going to depend on where that whole number is, if it gets confusing or not. So let's take 4/5 and divide it by 10. Okay, I want you to think about what that means. 4/5 is equal to how much money? Remember from the last unit we did? 80 cents. That means take 80 cents and split it evenly between 10 people. It's not a whole lot, right? It's less than a dime, right? But that's really what we're doing. Okay, so what do you think right off the bat, Ryan?
1/1.
Yes. So I have to make a reciprocal, but I don't have a fraction to do the reciprocal for. So you're going to really probably hate me for this, but I don't care. So here's how you're going to have to do this. I don't want you to touch the problem, okay? I want you to, I guess in this one you can. Later down the line, I'm not going to let you, so watch. You can go ahead and just write it like that. And then this problem is going to turn into 4/5 times 1/10. Okay. Another thing is that the work you have to show, I need you to know this right now. You're going to rewrite every multiplication problem. I do not want you to just do the work on here and just go, oh, this is 10, this is 10/1, this is 10. Nope, just do a whole new problem. Okay? Other than that little one, don't touch the problem. So now, can I cross cancel 4 and 10? How many times, what is the GCF? And how many times does it fit in here? And how many here? Okay, so this answer is what? 2/25. Make the 4/5 negative. Now what's your answer? Negative. That's all. That's seriously all there is with the negative part of it. Okay, let's do this one. Let's take -5 and divide it by 2/5. So I still need to make the what? 5/1. This is going to turn into -5/1. Don't divide by 2/5. Multiply by 5/2. Bless you. Then I have positive times negative is negative. And what is that as a mixed number? Negative. Fits in how many times? So it gets you to 24. 12 and... Okay. Look, guys, if you forgot how to do that... Okay, remember? It's your remainder that comes up. Yes. Question? Oh, I thought you were. Okay, good so far? All right. So let's do, that's good. Okay, are you good with that? Sure. All right. So let's do this level. We're going to have 4 levels. Because now, we got to do proper divided by a mixed number. Okay. Right about time when the mixed numbers come in with division is where people start to lose it. They're like, woohoo, I got this, everything's great. And then we throw a mixed number in, and even those kids who usually are pretty good with it. So I really want you to listen, okay? So let's take 3/4 and let's divide it by 2 1/5. Okay? So, this is the trickiest part. I need to do 2 things first. I'm going to have to rewrite this problem twice before I can even do it. Okay? The first time I'm going to rewrite it, please watch. I'm going to keep that 3/4. I'm going to keep a division symbol. Why am I not changing it to multiplication yet? Because I have to change something else first. What am I doing with that? Yes, making it improper. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, and I had somebody come up here and do this. They had the answer wrong, they couldn't find it on the matching sheet, and this was their work, and they didn't know what they did wrong. And then they did 33/20. They changed it to multiplication, but didn't really do the reciprocal. All they changed was this to this. This is still the same fraction, right? So now that it's changed, now I can change it to the multiplication. Times 5/11. So they shouldn't have multiplied it by 11/5. They should have multiplied it by that. So guess what? For the ones that have a mixed number in the second spot, you got to rewrite it twice. The first one is you're changing the mixed to improper. And then it's the second problem that you're changing the division to your multiplication. Right? So don't forget and make that mistake. So this answer is just 15/44. That's it. Make that 2 1/5 negative. And now what's your answer? Negative 15/44. Easy enough? Okay. Let's talk about this one here. 3 1/5 divided by 2/5. And let's make them both negative. Okay, so I have to change this mixed number first. Okay, and when we change mixed numbers, we just ignore that. We don't make that negative 15 and then add 1 to negative 15, right? Okay, this is 15 plus 1 is 16 fifths, and it just stays negative. What sign should I write right now? Divided by negative 2/5. Then what? Multiply by the reciprocal. Then, can I cross cancel anything? 5 and the 5. And don't forget that that's also negative. I forgot that. 16 and 2. 2 goes into itself once. 16/8. After all that, what is my answer? 8. Just a positive 8. Right? Because a negative times a negative is positive. Okay? And then the last category, so I can get you guys moving, is what's the only one we haven't done? Eric. Yes, go ahead. Yep, mixed times mixed. All right, so let's do it. So, divided by. Gosh, I keep doing. Yes. Level 4. A mixed number divided by another mixed number. I kind of feel like these are easier because you have to change them both, you know. So let's take, let's see which ones I got for you. Let's take negative 2 1/2 and divide it by 3 1/4. All right. So remember, this is a two-looper, meaning rewrite it once just to get them improper. And here's the deal. Some of you guys are really good at doing stuff in your head. Like, I know it. I've been your teacher for a lot of months now, okay? But this even gets hard to do in your head, right? Okay? So change them both first and keep that sign a division sign. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1. Remember, the denominators don't change. You can even write those right away if you want. 12 plus 1, 13. Don't worry. You don't have to multiply 5 times 13 because you're going to end up the reciprocal, right? Or flipping it. So you have, and this is negative, right? Don't take negative 5 halves and divide it by that. Multiply it by 4/13. Okay? So, do you think that you should make this 20/26 and then reduce it? Nah. I would cross cancel for sure. 2 goes into itself and into 4 twice. Now all you have to do is negative times positive. And that is your answer. Got it? Okay. So, that is the deal.